it's moving to me. I'm a millionaire. Money better cases. I ain't gotta chase it.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? Happy Thursday to you once again. And it's late here on the East Coast, but if you're on the West Coast, y'all all right. You're up anyway. So if you're watching me live, let me know where you're watching from. Rep your city, rep your country. Let me know where in the virtual building you're watching me from. For some of you, it is already Friday, and so happy Friday to some of you. But listen, honey, let's go ahead and talk, honey. Let's talk real quick. This is going to be a short live stream, but I wanted to come on. And I think I may, really consider doing this going forward once I really get, my stash of coffee. It was going to be, CBD coffee, jazz, and conversation, right? Maybe just for me and my single wives. I don't know. We'll see. But if you're watching live, let me know that you're here. And also let me know if the music is not too loud. Hey, Liz, San Diego's in the building. Hey, San Diego. If the music is too loud, let me know. If it's fine, let me know as well. So that way I know how to gauge this. So that way we can have our conversation because we're going to talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. So let me know if it's good. Let me know. So let's get into what I want to talk about tonight. But first, before I do that, let me go ahead and start with my intro as I always do. My name is Sharita Leon. I went from being a homeless, disabled single mom to a two-time #1 best-selling author with books that were on the bestsellers list for over 2 years straight. I'm also a life, relationship, and business coach, an internet marketing strategist, entrepreneur, international speaker, and the protege of the legendary Les Brown, a forex trader and investor, and I empower my tribe to live their God-given purpose while creating wealth and have healthy relationships. I'm also a believer, and my faith is exuded in all that I do. So welcome, everybody. So let's talk about it tonight, y'all. So as you see in the title of this video, I want my husband. Yep, as I sip my CBD coffee. So let's talk about it, right? So what am I really referring to tonight? Well, this is the thing. I literally, this face is thank you. Listen. We working out here. But yeah, so listen, y'all. So literally, I'm someone who is on the go throughout the whole day, right? And I'm really busy. I'm really, I'm out here. Thank you, Liz. I'm out here, working, and I don't really think about anything else other than work while I'm working most of the time, right? So I literally just finished doing a conference call about maybe 40 minutes ago. And so now this is the time on certain days when I'm not going still where I start to think about it, right? Where I'm like, okay, it's time to wind down. And since I'm not drinking a glass of wine, I'm drinking some CBD coffee. The music playing in the background. And now it's like, okay, this is when the superhero is doing a present, right? This is when the wife is like, okay, where's my husband though? This is when it's like, okay, I want to be able to tell somebody about my day, right? Other than my friends. Does anybody else relate? Like, am I the only one out here trying to talk to somebody else other than my girlfriend? Like, come on, I need y'all to talk to me here. This is going to be interactive. Listen, this is CBD coffee, jazz, and conversation, okay? We're having a conversation. So I need y'all to talk back to me. Am I the only one after playing Shiro, after closing deals, after being mommy, after having food done if I'm cooking, or am I the only one that at the end of the night is like, okay, I'm over it? See, Liz, thank you. I'm not the only one, huh? You feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, it's like, oh, okay. I become human again. And I think that oftentimes as women, when we are, especially if you're a woman in leadership in whatever sphere, be it in entrepreneurship, be it in the corporate world, be it in ministry, whatever the case may be, when you are in that role and you're like that most of the time, there comes a point where you're like, okay, it's like, okay, now it's back to just being you. And at that point is when you're dealing with all the other things that you may be ignoring or putting behind, right? And so that's why I find myself. And one of the great ways that I find that I'm able to really deal with that in a healthy manner is by really being able to write my emotions, write my expressions. I've always been someone since a child that always really expressed myself with writing, right? And so for me, that's very therapeutic. But not only is it therapeutic, it also is tapping into spiritual principles, right? By writing something, something happens when you scribe, right? The Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. So when they see it, they can run with it, right? And so there's something that happens in writing and makes it that much more real, you know? And so for me, that's one of the ways that I actually deal with that. But for so long, I would just act like it didn't happen. Like I would act like, oh, I don't really feel like, I want to be in a relationship right now. I really don't. I'm good single. And I would lie to myself. And a lot of us do that because oftentimes we're taught wrong, especially if you're someone that is in the church world. A lot of times we're taught the wrong information, right? So things that are natural, people make you feel like, oh my gosh, oh, you need to go and pray. Oh my gosh, you need to go fast. It's like, no, like this is normal. This is normal. This is me being a normal human being, right? And me knowing that I've been called to be someone's wife, that's what that is. That's not feeling like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with you. And you people are out here praying, oh Lord, let me not feel this. And Lord, stop it. Stop. Stop the madness. The difference is being able to be aware of how you're feeling and properly channeling that emotion to where you're able to confront it. Because what happens then, you find people that are hiding behind so many emotions, and this is outside of this relationship. This is just as a whole. People that don't deal with emotions, that don't deal with how they're feeling. They then hide it, and before you know it, they end up on a slippery slope somewhere. And you're like, whoa, what happened to sister so-and-so? Well, y'all had her out here feeling like she was the devil. And now she went out and slept with the devil. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm gonna be a little too candid in these late night conversations, y'all. This ain't for everybody. I'm just saying. But it's true. It's true. And so I believe we have to be aware of our emotions. There's a level of consciousness that needs to take place in any area of our lives in order to make change. Yes, girl. I am definitely drinking some of that Capri CBD coffee right now. It is so good. And I'm starting to feel like I'm about to wind down in a minute. This is why it could be 11:30 at night and I'm drinking coffee, and like, why would she be drinking coffee at 11:30 at night? She's not gonna be able to sleep. Yes, I will. I'm gonna sleep well at that. But yeah, being able to be conscious of how you feel and now channeling that. In the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill speaks on that, being able to transmute that energy, right? Transmuting that energy. But a lot of times we don't do that because we're not conscious of how we're feeling, or we're condemned, excuse me. And so we don't properly deal with things. So part of being able to deal with things properly is, one, acknowledging, and then two, having conversations about it. Whether that's having a conversation with someone that you trust, having a coach, or if that conversation simply is you just writing it down and allowing God to speak back to you, right? So like I said, for me, I know that it's around these times where it's like, okay, I'm not doing any calls, right? I'm not closing any deals. I'm not doing anything other than being Sharita, right? And that's the thing. I'm grateful to God that I know the difference between when I'm just Sharita and then when I'm the CEO, right? Or when I'm the mom, or when I'm this, when I'm that. But then there's just Sharita, and being able to deal with just Sharita. And a lot of people, they don't know how to switch between the different roles that they actually, carry. And that's very important, especially when it's time for you to transition into a relationship. I find that a lot of people, especially if you're a woman who's been independent for so long, a woman who has done everything for herself, and you're getting older and you like try to get into a relationship and it's like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. Right? Because we're so accustomed to being that for all things at all times that we don't know when to, okay, I can put my hat down as a CEO. I can put my hat down as the leader. Right now, I can just be beautiful and feminine and just be Sharita and just let him be a king, right? It's a totally different conversation, a different conversation, a different stance, right? And being able to decipher when I need to show up as who I need to show up as, right? And that's the thing about God. God has so many different attributes, hence why he has so many different names in the Bible. There are like over hundreds of names of who God is. And we sometimes forget that we were made in the image of God, right? We are made in the image of God, not only in his image, but also in his likeness. So in that same vein, we have many different components of who we are. But you have to be able to know when to tap into that particular side of you, right? And so for me, like I said, around this time is when I become Sharita. And it's like, okay, Sharita, the wife. And I want to be able to tell my husband about my day and tell him about, the crazy things that took place, the amazing things that took place, but then also to be able to hear about his day. I'm someone who is I'm very much a servant, right? I'm a servant leader, but I'm also someone that truly serves and in a relationship as well, right? And that's pretty much how most women were created to be, as to help me. So naturally, I want to know about his day. Naturally, I want to know how I can make it better. Naturally, I want to relieve him from the stress that he had out there working and being, the giant, being the king. And last night I talked about that. Well, I wrote about it actually. I made a post and I wrote about it because that's really how I feel. I want to be able to know that, okay, when he walks through that door, whatever happened before he got to that door stays outside. And that when he comes into that door, the atmosphere has already been shifted and conducive to feel like home, to feel like peace. I take pride in that. And one of the things that I'm so grateful for my grandmother was really being able to watch her and be such this comforting, soft place for my grandfather, right? My grandfather was, very well known. He was, a pastor. He was, he had a lot going on, but she always knew how to create that environment. And I always peep game, right? Even as a child watching that. And so for me, I take that on. And my grandmother, I remember when I was younger, and I talked about this in my first book, she would always, everything was always a lesson about when I got married. And when I was younger, I didn't understand. Hold on, this coffee feeling good, y'all. Hold on. This Caprice coffee is hitting real nice right now, y'all. I'm feeling the mellowing out is starting to take place, the winding down. But my grandmother would always give me a lesson with something, and she would be like, well, you have to learn how to do this because one day you're going to be married and you have to do this for your husband. And I was like, oh my gosh, stop with all that. Like, I was Miss Super Independent, right? But I would remember her always having a lesson for something to share with me about my husband, right? Or what I was going to have to do with the atmosphere that I have to create. So for me growing up, I was raised differently, especially as a Caribbean woman. I was raised differently in that we took pride in being, girl, yes, Liz, I'm feeling something. I feel something, Liz. I feel something. Ooh, child, girl, yes. But as a Caribbean woman from my grandmother, we were raised to take pride in being a wife. So after God delivered me from my stage of being this super independent woman, I understood the concept. I understood the power that I had in being a wife and the pride in that, where a lot of women don't have that these days because our society has taught so differently. And so for me, I take pride in creating a peaceful environment. I take pride in being his safe place. I take pride in making sure that when he walks in that door, nothing else matters, right? And so, listen, times like these at 11:30 at night, like, okay, Lord, where he at though? Where he at though, God? Where he at though? But the beauty of all of that is still being able to be confident in my stance, right? Confident in not compromising. Because the truth is, I know what kind of man my husband is, right? And I know what I'm waiting for. So because I know what I'm waiting for, I know what kind of man he is, it makes it that much easier to wait. See, I was talking about that earlier today, and but yeah, that's the stand. That's a different video, girl. That's a different video for another day. But I was speaking on that earlier today, both with my team, and also I kind of touched on. Excuse me, I kind of touched on it later on today as well on my live. But being able to know the difference or not know the difference when somebody else is speaking when they're in faith, right? You don't know. I could be married. Some of y'all don't know. Listen, my father and I were speaking yesterday, and he was like, my dad calls me, he calls me the Secret Service. And he calls me the Secret Service because I'm literally I'm like a diary. Like you're never going to know anything. If someone tells me something, that's it. No one else knows. So my dad often jokes with me and calls me the Secret Service because no one ever really knows the Secret Service, right? If you tell me something, that's it. You won't know. I move silently. So he was like, I was telling him something. He was like, you're probably there right now. I said, hey, you never know. So I feel that to say, I could be married and folks don't even know it. But listen, I just wanted to come on here and share my experience with y'all with this CBD coffee. Y'all, I'm telling you, this thing's amazing. Do y'all see the difference from when I started 17 minutes ago to now? It hit real different, honey. And I don't even need a glass of wine. I just have me some CBD coffee. Baby. Absolutely, absolutely. And so listen, I wanted to share that with you all. So if you're someone that may feel like I mentioned earlier on about like, Lord, where he at though? Where's my husband? Or if you're a gentleman watching, you're like, where's my wife? The beauty is knowing that that's totally fine to feel that way and not to feel condemned and to know yes, Liz, I'm feeling something. Yes, and this is why I love being able to take this. I could drink my coffee, wind down, and go to sleep. But if I needed to stay up, I could. That's the beauty about this Capri CBD coffee. Like if I need to go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna sleep really well. If I need to stay up to work, I still could. Like that's how powerful this thing is. It literally works. It like bounces each other out. It's amazing. But more importantly, the reason why I'm drinking this thing is because it takes away the pain from my body. It like literally I don't have to deal with pain because of this. It's really powerful. And I sleep amazingly well. I wake up refreshed and I literally stayed up the whole entire day without feeling tired drinking this CBD coffee. Like it's amazing. This Caprice coffee is literally changing the game. I'm telling you. But anyway, I hope that you have gotten something from this as I shared with you a little bit about my heart, right? Showing you a little bit of Sharita, right? Not showing you the coach, not showing you the speaker, not showing you the CEO, but just Sharita. Sharita thinking about her husband, y'all, you know, and being encouraged and knowing that, like I was saying earlier on, I know what I'm waiting for. Yes, yes, yes. I know what I'm waiting for. So because I know what I'm waiting for, I take courage in that. Because listen, my husband is amazing, y'all. I'm just saying, he amazing now. He really really is amazing. He's an amazing man. He's an amazing man, and we have an amazing work that we are going to be doing together, that we are doing together. All right, y'all. So listen, if you would like to try this phenomenal CBD Caprice coffee, make sure you inbox me because you want it. Trust me, when I say you want this, it's amazing. I'm telling you, it's giving me all kinds of life, honey. All kinds of life. I love how I feel. I love how I feel. There are just so many health benefits to CBD, and having it in an amazing cup of coffee. The coffee tastes so good. Oh my gosh. It tastes so good, and it smells really good too. But the experience that it actually gives you, that's bar none. Starbucks is not going to do that. Dunkin' Donuts is not going to do that. Listen, nobody's doing that but this Caprice, honey. And that was my last one. So now I have to wait a few days. But the way it makes me feel amazing. Literally no pain. Like, it minimized the pain so much. It's just dynamic. But anyway, all right, y'all. I thank you for joining me tonight and for allowing me to share with you from the aspect of just being Sharita. Liz, girl, listen, I feel something. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, that's an inside joke, y'all. So she knows what I'm talking about. But listen, y'all, I actually still have to make my detox tea. I didn't make that yet, so I'm gonna have that tonight and detox and get this thing going. You know, for those of you that have been a customer of mine, the Kai Detox Tea. I know the lighting is a little bit. There we go. The Kai Detox Tea is now going to be called, or now is called, Vasia. So don't be alarmed if you see new packaging or a new name if you order. It's the same exact dynamic Kai Detox Tea, but a new name and new branding. I feel good, y'all. I feel good. I had a really busy day. And I knew I needed to unwind, and I knew I wasn't going to have a glass of wine. So the best thing, in fact, the Caprice Detox, Lord, the Caprice Detox Tea. Okay, Sharita, I'm out here literally putting my detox tea in here. That's why I'm saying this. But the Caprice CBD coffee literally does you way better than a glass of wine. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You feel super relaxed. In addition to being relaxed, like I said, you sleep like a baby, and if you have someone that has pain, the pain is gone. You hear me? Gone. And I find that it also works really well with taking this Kai Detox tea. It really, what's the word I want to use? Just to say it's a great partnership. I'll just say that. It's a great partnership, okay? And so I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Now I'm gonna go to sleep. So, dear husband, wherever you are, know that your girl loves you. And we shall see each other real soon. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. Until next time, only believe until the end, and go get your life and a cup of some Caprice CBD coffee. Be blessed, y'all.
I'm a millionaire, money better cases. I ain't gotta chase